Greetings, travelers. Okay, let's get cracking. Hey, what's up, Jagdris? So now we hit a bit of a wall. DevCQ, greetings. So Megan and I had a meeting about Chronicles. Got coordinated on some stuff. We sort of have to figure out. So there's a few things we have to figure out. A couple of different things. We were slightly out of communication when it came to how they were being done. And in order to make sure that they go forward in a way that is workable and that we can actually do, we need to be launching the Patreon reasonably soon, and like a few weeks before stories start coming out. In order for that to happen, the stories need to be edited. Now, one of them has already been sent to the editor. The other one is pretty close to ready to go. I have 3 stories now that are in first draft that need work. One story by Eric is in first draft, and one story by Erica is in is being written right now. There might be other authors coming on board, but we don't know yet for sure. No, not quite the same way, DevCQ. It's a little bit more loosey-goosey, because there doesn't need to be, not that there doesn't need to be as much structure. You need to build a house to be stable just as much as you need to build an office building to be stable, but there's just less there, right? So it's much easier to flip back and forth and fix things while you're outlining a short story. Hey, what's up, Miak? So yeah, in summary, I'm a lot more loosey-goosey with my short story outlines. No, I'm not really working on Patreon goals right now. I'm just thinking things through. I guess I know for sure that my goal for the year is to get the 5K done per day, right? But what I'm thinking right now, right at this moment, what I'm thinking is that I want to get these last 3 stories written by other people. That's the conundrum that I'm in right now. One person has already said they're interested. Another person is tentatively interested. And I need to check out the quality of work of a third person. But if their work is good, I think that they will definitely be interested. I kind of do want to start writing the next book. That's what I'm saying, babe. Right now, authors, we've got me, you, Rhea, Eric, and Erica. So we've got 4 different authors. And there's 3 stories that are basically just in the binder you can see right now. Number 6, number 8, and number 10 are just like my first ideas for shorts. I don't know that they're like the best ideas for shorts. I look at these 3 story ideas. Sorry, number 10 is super fucking awesome, and either I'm going to write that or somebody else is, because that story has to be in here, right? But 6 and 8, I'm not super stoked about them. And I'm thinking, why not let other people tell stories that are going to get people super stoked? Yeah, I changed that one. Because that story I was just like, eh. Although I do like that more than Oris's Amulet, to be honest. Well, I'll tell you what, Rogan becoming Shadeborn is a super interesting story. That's one of those ones where, like, I know how that happens, so, like, I wouldn't expect somebody else to look at that and be like, oh, but, like, that's actually pretty major. The short stories are, yeah, they expand the world, they introduce new characters, they introduce new things about Underrealm, and they are an opportunity to bring in new authors. Because it's way easier to get a brand new author who's, you know, who doesn't really know me and be like, hey, do you want to write a short story? As opposed to, hey, do you want to write 3 full-length novels? You know what I mean? I think my wife is right. Definitely not the first time I've said that. Yeah. Okay, so we're doing this. Excuse me. So Meg, can I commission a cover for Tales of the Wanderer Volume 1? that my wife is learning emotes, and I love that she likes What Face so much, because What Face is literally my favorite fucking emote. I will use it at any opportunity. Do I have a volume file for Academy Journals? No, I do not. I do tentatively plan to produce one this month. Hopefully. Can you see it yet? I want the binder to be visible, because a lot of the first stuff that I'm going to be doing is binder work. We do have covers for the first 3 Tales of the Wanderer books, but we don't have a volume cover. That's what I was asking about. I'm joking though. Hey, what's up, Dread? Oh, how do I find my writers? So, do they have to audition? I'm not taking submissions. In the future, we will probably take submissions, but at least for the first season of Chronicles and for the first 3 authors that we are publishing, I wanted to find them. You know what I mean? I wanted to basically find somebody who was already working, who had work that I could look at to see the quality of it, or who I could have personal interactions with enough that I knew that their work was good, and I also knew they wouldn't be a massive fucking pain in the ass to work with, because that's really important. You know what I mean? I've always said I will absolutely take somebody who is 80% quality that I think I can work with, and hopefully we can work together and get even better than like and that's very much myself included. Than somebody who's 98% quality, but just a total fucking asshole. And that comes from the days of filmmaking, right? So you would meet directors of photography who were amazing and they could shoot incredibly well, but working with them was just so awful. And so I would ignore them in favor of my DP, who he would tell me, he was like, why don't you consider like working with this other guy? Like, look at his work. It's amazing. I'm like, yeah, but you're not an asshole. And he is. So. I will start. I was joking, Meg, about commissioning the volume cover. And that's because filmmaking is so collaborative, and Underrealm is collaborative. You can't have somebody come in and be an asshole. Because what if that person's like, I want to kill off this character? And I'm like, yeah, but you can't do that because the whole thing that we're building, da-da-da. And it's like, I have to kill this person. It's the only way, you know? Or like, I'm not gonna introduce an asshole to my editor, you know? I have way too much respect for Karen to put an asshole on her lines. So. In defense of Christian Bale. I have only ever heard about that one incident with him. Lots of other people talk about how nice and wonderful and amazing he is to work with. And it did sound like there had already been previous discussions asking a person to do a thing. Reaction still totally overblown. Should not have happened. But I have a tiny bit of sympathy for Christian Bale and that whole circumstance. You know, you're right. You're right, Rhea. And I don't like... What about... Oh, wow. Well, problem solved. There you go, Rhea. That irked me for a long time, too. And I could not think of a solution. And then it just happened. I have not played that game, no. All right, we begin, as always, the Snowflake method for designing a novel. Writing a novel is easy. Writing a good novel is hard. That's just life. If it were easy, we'd all be writing best-selling, prize-winning fiction. Frankly, there are 1,000 different people out there who can tell you how to write a novel. There are 1,000 different methods. The best one for you is the one that works for you. In this article, I'd like to share with you what works for me. I've published 6 novels and won about a dozen awards for my writing. I teach the craft of writing fiction at writing conferences all the time. One of my most popular lectures is this one, How to Write a Novel Using What I Call the Snowflake Method. Hey, what's up, Lou? This page is the most popular one on my website, and it gets over 1,000 page views per day. Over the years, this page has been viewed more than 6 million times, so you can guess that a lot of people find it useful. But you may not, and that's fine by me. Look it over, decide what might work for you, and ignore the rest. If it makes you dizzy, I won't be insulted. Different writers are different. If my methods get you rolling, I'll be happy. I'll make the best case I can for my way of organizing things, but you are the final judge of what works best for you. Have fun and write your novel. This is one of the things that attracted me to the Snowflake method in the first place, is that this guy isn't like, this is what every writer does to write a book, and if you're not doing it this way, you're doing it wrong. Which is just, fuck those people, right? Well, VlogaNovel is kind of a tutorial from beginning to end. The importance of design. Good fiction doesn't just happen, it is designed. You can do the design work before or after you write your novel. Also another point that I've always found true and completely agree with. I've done it both ways, and I strongly believe that doing it first is quicker and leads to a better result. Design is hard work, so it's important to find a guiding principle early on. This article will give you a powerful metaphor to guide your design. Our fundamental question is this: how do you design a novel? For a number of years, I was a software architect designing large software projects. I write novels the same way I write software, using the snowflake metaphor. Okay, what's the snowflake metaphor? Before you go further, take a look at this cool website. Oh, it's just the explanation of fractals. I looked at that before. I was like, wait, what's that website? I forgot. Oh, you should, Miak. At the top of the page, you'll see a cute pattern known as a snowflake fractal. Don't tell anyone, but this is an important mathematical object that's been widely studied. For our purposes, it's just a cool sketch of a snowflake. If you scroll down that same webpage a little, you'll see a box with a large triangle in it and arrows underneath. If you press the right arrow button repeatedly, you'll see the steps used to create the snowflake. It doesn't look much like a snowflake at first, but after a few steps, it starts looking more and more like one until it's done. I claim that that's how you design a novel. You start small, then build stuff up until it looks like a story. Part of this is creative work, and I can't teach you how to do that. Not here, anyway. But part of the work is just managing your creativity, getting it organized into a well-structured novel. That's what I'd like to teach you here. Oh, I have to change my stream title. Oh, except it's not, is it? Yes, it is. I don't have any videos up. Okay, I have no videos up for Tales of the Wanderer. When did I do the cover design? Did I do the cover design off screen? Off stream? I guess I must have. That's wild. Anyway. If you, like most people, spend a long time thinking about your novel before you ever start writing, you may do some research. You daydream about how the story's going to work. You brainstorm. You start hearing the voices of different characters. You think about what the book's about, the deep theme. This is an essential part of every book, which I call composting. It's an informal process, and every writer does it differently. I'm going to assume that you know how to compost your story ideas, and that you have already got a novel well composted in your mind, and that you're ready to sit down and start writing that novel. Yeah, it was years ago. The 10 steps of design. But before you start writing, you need to get organized. You need to put all those wonderful ideas down on paper in a form you can use. Why? Because your memory is fallible, and your creativity has probably left a lot of holes in your story. Holes you need to fill in before you start writing your novel. You need a design document. And the important thing about the snowflake method is because you start small, but you also start big, the way that the novel comes together, you see the biggest holes first. And it's no use filling in the small holes until the big holes are fixed. Fuck. Phrasing. Well, this book is starting off well. And you need to produce it using a process that doesn't kill your desire to actually write the story. Here's my 10-step process for writing a design document. I use this process for writing my novels, and I hope it will help you. Step 1. Take an hour and write a 1-sentence summary of your novel. It's not going to take me an hour. It's been composting well enough for that. Something like this. A rogue physicist travels back in time to kill the Apostle Paul. This is the summary for my first novel, Transgression. The sentence will serve you forever as a 10-second selling tool. This is the big picture, the analog of that big starting triangle in the Snowflake picture. When you later write your book proposal, this sentence should appear very early in the proposal. It's the hook that will sell your book to your editor, to your committee, to the sales force, to bookstore owners, and ultimately to readers. So make the best one you can. Some hints on what makes a good sentence. Shorter is better. Try for fewer than 15 words. 15,000 words. It's quite a sentence. No character names, please. Better to say a handicapped trapeze artist than Jane Doe. Tie together the big picture and the personal picture. Which character has the most to lose in this story? Now tell me what he or she wants to win. Or they. It's hard to read a lot of advice out loud because you're like, gender issue, ableism issue, etc., etc. Read the one-line blurbs on the New York Times bestseller list to learn how to do this. Writing a one-sentence description is an art form. Okay. Hey, what's up, Alex? Wait, what? Hi, Sakaj. Please use the names that people request you to use. M10. What? Can you please explain? What? Who talked about me? What? What? I don't understand. Wait a minute. Oh, no. Which one of the students? Do you remember their name? Because Ah, shoot, that notification sound didn't go through because I have it on internal speakers. Whoops. Let's give that notification its proper place. Woo! Whiz, bang! There we go. That's a notification. I know, it's because I have to put it on internal. I'm not able to adjust the volume when it's broadcasting through OBS because this is a Mac. I think I know the student. I think I know the student you were talking. I think I know the student who did that. M10. They actually reached out to me, asking if they could do the presentation, and I was like, "Are you kidding me? Of course." So if it's the same person. I really thank you for coming and telling me that, M10. Also, Nicole, thank you so much for the host. I was so flustered I didn't even pay, I'm so sorry I didn't thank you for that. But thank you for the host. Hello. Hello, new people or people who have been here before. I don't know who just got hosted to my channel. But hello. That's the marketing strategy for a lot of college professors. And other people in academia. They write books on a subject and then arrange for those books to be required reading for various classes in the college. Oh, it is hidden, isn't it? Just for readability, we'll do this. Ria, I'm afraid you might be disappointed by vampires. Well, that's awesome, M10. I really appreciate you. I really appreciate you coming by and letting me know. Vampires are creatures. They're feral. They're not sentient. They're like vampires from the movie version of I Am Legend, right? Where like those ones are kind of zombies, but they're actually vampires with the whole aversion to the sun and everything like that. Oh, that's literally what you prefer? Okay. Oh, right. Okay, good. You knew about this. You'll never guess what surprises I have in store. You told me. You already said this. You said it in a video that you published online. Boom, 3 sentences. But wait, there's more. I vlog everything I write. In the early days, so I vlogged I started vlogging my novels with this one, which was actually my 7th book. So that's Nightblade. This was the first book, and it was created entirely live on stream. Then I started the 2nd book in that series. Should not have gone off of full screen. Mystic. And I thought, I was like, oh, well, I guess nobody's really tuning in for the live streams, and it's probably not useful to anybody, and da-da-da. So I did about like 6 hours of work, 6 to 10 hours of work on Mystic off stream. And then I like posted online. I was like, hey, so I'm working on Mystic and it's going well. And like multiple people were like, what? Why did I miss the streams? Where's the streams? I haven't seen the streams. And I was like, oh, you were watching that? They're like, yeah, just start streaming again. So other than that, other than those 6 to 10 hours of work, all of my books since then have been done on stream. The whole process. New media. Well, I mean, to be fair, they still call it New England. They're not just calling it England, right? It's still New York. Yeah, that's very true, Alex. Yeah, that's one of the major reasons I do it, M10. Keeps me motivated, keeps me working. Step 2, take another hour and expand that sentence, or your 3 sentences, into a full paragraph describing the story's setup, major disasters, and ending of the novel. This is the analog of the 2nd stage of the Snowflake. I like to structure a story as 3 disasters plus an ending. Just for anybody who is new to the stream, like M10, I've read these instructions like a billion times before. I'm not like doing this for the first time. I'm reading them out loud because I always read the instructions again. I don't just like go off of my memory of them. I read them again newly because I just finished writing another book, right? So like I understand everything a little bit better than I used to. So reading it again just helps me see new things, helps me pick up things that I've never seen before. Each of the disasters takes a quarter of the book to develop, and the ending takes the final quarter. I don't know if this is the ideal structure, it's just my personal taste. If you believe in the 3-act structure, then the first disaster corresponds to the end of Act 1, the second disaster is the midpoint of Act 2, the third disaster is the end of Act 2, and forces Act 3, which wraps things up. It is okay to have the first disaster be caused by external circumstances, but I think that the second and third disasters should be caused by the protagonist's attempts to fix things. Things just get worse and worse. You can also use this paragraph in your proposal. Ideally, your paragraph will have about 5 sentences. 1 sentence to give me the backdrop and story setup, then 1 sentence each for your 3 disasters, then 1 more sentence to tell the ending. I always did 4 sentences. Did I? It's like I've never read this before. He said, after having just explained. Don't confuse this paragraph with the back cover copy for your book. This paragraph summarizes the whole story. Your back cover copy should summarize only about the first quarter of the story. Okay. Actually, this should be a folder. Old England. Well, there's a spoiler for you, Rhea. Rhea. What's wrong with me? Well, there is spoiler for you, Rhea. Welcome to kitchen. We have banana and avocado. I don't honestly know, Alex. It probably has something to do with OBS on Mac. That would be my guess. I'm glad that the webcam is smooth. What the fuck? I know this guy. He's a very cool guy. He posted on Facebook the other day that he wanted to have somebody on his podcast to talk about the Marvel movies. I was like, I'll do it. But he lives in LA, and he was like, sorry, you have to be here in person in our recording studio and everything like that. And I was like, oh man, that's balls. He just sent me a text asking me to review his podcast on iTunes. I was like, that's what you do right after telling somebody that they can't be a guest on your podcast? I definitely don't always answer. Listen, some people just don't like fab. Oh, thank you, Ria. That's really just from, you know, my use right now, but really the story is still contained in one paragraph, but I need the framing device to understand how I'm going to be telling it. You know what I mean? No, I'm definitely not going to be writing it that way. Hey, what's up, JJ? You did not miss it. Did you ask your mom to help you, JJ? No, I don't do timers when I'm working on an outline. Okay, so we did our first paragraph of our first book, which I think is pretty good progress so far. And I have been streaming for more than an hour, so I'm going to go take a quick break, get some thing to drink. I'll be back in 10. Hey, we're back. Ah, but Rhea, consider this. If you do that, June 2019 might not be the way that you want it to be, right? I know you already know that. It's so foggy out. I love it. I'm going to be moving my desk soon, by the way. I'm going to be over by a window. The window does have a wonderful view. In fact, it's right over there. And like when I take little breaks, I'll always like lean back and I'll look out of that window or that window over there when I'm like thinking or whatever. But it's just I have to do this. And there's a perfect little nook right across the room where the desk can go. And it'll make my lighting better on my YouTube video. I really think it's just a better location in every way for my writing desk to be. Going to be doing that real soon. I like to reorganize my office about once a year just to sort of freshen things up. Oh, that's too bad, Sikaj. Am I pronouncing your name correctly, by the way? Yeah, I like having a nice view. And we have pretty gorgeous countryside up here in Oregon, where I live. I've been back for about 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes. Hey, what's up, JJ? Oh yeah. So yesterday on the stream, a new person showed. Oh, by the way, I completely forgot. M10, welcome to the stream and have a free book. And also, so so yesterday I gave away free books on the stream, and JJ wanted one of the free books. So I said that I was pretty sure you, KJ, had the books already and could let her read them if it was okay with you. I made very clear that that was a question for you and not for me. and if you didn't already have the books, that you could definitely get them at that link. If she couldn't, which I imagine she can't, but I don't know. So anyway, that is what is being discussed in the getting of the books. Yeah. Free copy of Nightblade. That's right. Later, Meg. Love you, baby. Come in here and say bye to me. Give me a kiss and say hi to stream.
I'm so happy you're writing.
Me too. So excited to be working on the next book.
I know. Not even just the next book, sweetie. The next series.
I know.
You haven't done a brand new series in how long? When did you come out with Alchemist Touch?
2 years.
2 years. New storyline. Oh.
Wow, you're more excited than I am.
Ah!
And I'm excited.
I am excited.
Oh.
I gotta get out of here. So am I picking you up?
Yes, please. That'll just because it'll give me extra time.
Okay.
Love you.
I'll text you when I'm close.
Okay. You're the best.
Love you. How much time do you need to end off the stream?
I can end off pretty quick. I'm not starting a timer, so like, yeah.
Okay.
They just don't like it on other retailers. The specific terms and conditions. Well, okay, so the first fair thing to say is that the terms and conditions are not 100% explicitly clear on this. However, they seem to indicate that you are not allowed to sell your book anywhere else, and that you are allowed to give them away for free, especially if you are giving them away to review. And since everyone who joins up for my email list is asked to please review it, it counts as a review copy. You know what I mean? It's a little bit dicey, but I don't know if it's a little bit dicey. But Amazon could theoretically come out and make a statement where, like, we're not okay with anybody doing this. But they've never done that, and, like, every fucking buddy does it. So it's sort of one of those things that's like, eh. It's that Kristen. Okay, Ria. No problem. Catch you later. Oh my God, Kristen. I do kind of really love, Kristen, that Meg reached out to you and was like, we're really busy and we actually have a lot of work to do tonight, so could we maybe postpone game night? And you were like, oh, thank God I can write. I feel like we're both in a very similar like space these days, you know, like a headspace. There you go, KJ. Oh, that's awesome, KJ. I hope y'all really, really like that. I hope she enjoys the story. Also, just a reminder that in the Nightblade series, books 4 through 6 start to have a romantic storyline, which is never really explicit, but it is there. So that's just a thing to keep in mind. And Academy Journals is a lot more heavy on the romantic side of life. again, there's no like explicit anything, but it's heavier in that series. For people who get Nightblade, Lou, I offer them a free copy of Mystic, the second book in the series, if they sign up. So they get there's a link in the back of Nightblade on Amazon that sends them to a different email sign up page that offers them a free copy of Mystic. That is correct, KJ. For which I apologize. I did not write the book in recommended reading order. It is the best summation of what's going on there. Sorry. I still recommend that you read them in the order available on that page. In everything that's available, you just read it in that order, and that is, I believe, the most effective sequence of reading them to give you the most moments, like the most sort of like the best tie-ins and the best sort of understanding everything that's going on as it's going on and seeing the crossover between the series. The other order is just Nightblade 1 through 6, Academy Journals 1 through 3. Either one works. I just think that you should read them in the order on that page. This is the next book series. So this is I'm working on Bloodlust right now. All goes well, it should release in March, and these 3 books will release month to month to month. So if Bloodlust comes out in March, Stoneheart will come out in April, Hellskin will come out in May. Yeah, we're doing Tales. How cool is that? I do write pretty fast. So just for reference, yeah, that's true, Kristen. Just for reference, for anybody who's wondering, there are going to be more breaks in the story than this, but there are major breaks, right? There's the 3 major breaks, just like Name of the Wind. If you've read that book, there's the beginning of the story before the actual story starts, and then in the middle there's a break from the story. Where there's a bit of an extended conversation between the characters who are conversing about the story, and then at the end there's more. But also a reference that more people will probably be familiar with, The Princess Bride. There's 3 major framings in The Princess Bride. There's the beginning where the grandpa starts to read the book to his grandson. There's the end where the grandpa finishes reading the book to his grandson. And there's the part in the middle at the sort of all is lost moment, or just like right around the time of the all is lost moment, where there's the biggest upset between the grandfather and the grandson. Now, those are the big ones, but there's lots of little ones worked in as well. And so just so you know, like, there will be those other smaller breaks. So if that was a thing that you were curious or worried about. That's awesome, KJ. I'm so happy to hear that. Oh, sorry I missed your message, Nicole. If you haven't left already, bye. Thanks so much for coming by. Good to see you. God, I'm so glad so much of the regular crew is here since we decided to start the new book series. You know what I mean? Like that was just sort of a last minute change, and but everybody's here, so yay. Will I play a game tonight? I don't know that I'm going to be able to play a game tonight, JJ. I have a bunch of stuff I have to do. I have to make and publish a YouTube video today, and then I have to make another one to publish tomorrow. If I do both of those things fast enough and I still have time, yes, I will play games again tonight. But if I don't, then I won't. Yay for Moving Cat. Okay, we got a paragraph and then some for each book. Step 3. The above gives you a high-level view of your novel. Now you need something similar for the storylines of each of your characters. Characters are the most important part of any novel, and the time you invest in designing them upfront will pay off tenfold when you start writing. For each of your major characters, take an hour and write a one-page summary sheet that tells the character's name, a one-sentence summary of the character's storyline, the character's motivation, what does he/she want abstractly, the character's goal, what does he/she want concretely, the character's conflict, what prevents him/her from reaching this goal, the character's epiphany, what will they learn, how will they change, a one-paragraph summary of the character's storyline. An important point, you may find that you need to go back and revise your one-sentence summary and/or your one-paragraph summary. Go ahead. This is good. It means your characters are teaching you things about your story. It's always okay at any stage of the design process to go back and revise earlier stages. In fact, it's not just okay, it's inevitable, and it's good. Any revisions you make now are revisions you won't need to make later on to a clunky 400-page manuscript. Another important point, it doesn't have to be perfect. The purpose of each step in the design process is to advance you to the next step. Keep your forward momentum. You can always come back later and fix it when you understand the story better. You will do this too, unless you're a lot smarter than I am. Okay. Who are the characters in book 3? JJ, please be nice. It's cool. I know you're just having typos. Wow, Chewy's going nuts down there. Absolutely, Lou. Glad you found it helpful. All right, later, M10. Great to meet you. Thank you so much for telling me one of the coolest things that I've heard in a very long time. Officer Genius? My goodness. Pew, 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 pew. Thanks so much for the follow, M10. Catch you next time. Yeah, I'm very proud of my alert noises, JJ. Wow, that's actually probably the deepest motivation I've ever given one of my characters. Some things in real life that give me inspiration for my books. God, I really think everything. In terms of art, I'm always going to say Tolkien. Tolkien really did change my life, set me on the path that I am on, that I ended up staying on. It's, Tolkien's work has always been so incredibly important to me, and it's why I've read it more than anything else. But my stories are also inspired by what's going on in the world. Yerrin, the 6th Nightblade book, was probably more it was written from beginning to end last year in 2017. The biggest dumpster fire of a year that I've ever experienced in my life. And it's impossible not to see the influence of 2017 on that book, yeah. I'm inspired by the marginalized creators who I want to give more opportunity to. That's why Underrealm is the kind of world that it is, where there isn't racism or homophobia, right? None of that stuff exists. Not as a statement that that stuff doesn't exist or isn't important, but watching these writers and creators and YouTubers make the point that, like, why do stories about black people have to be about what it's like to be black in America, right? Why do stories about gay people have to be about facing discrimination as a gay person? Why can't a gay person just have a book series where they're a hero, just like Luke Skywalker or Harry Potter or Frodo Baggins, who, I mean, could and has been definitely read as gay. And if you do have to tell stories, or if you do want to tell stories, like, there absolutely should also be stories about what it's like to be black in America, or what it's like to be gay in a civilization that hates that. Those stories should exist, but they should also be told by those people. If we want to read about those life experiences, we should read them from authors who have lived those life experiences. And so Underrealm became a place where those people would exist, but that wouldn't define their stories. And one of the whole points of inviting in authors, I'm trying to focus on inviting in authors who you don't normally see on the covers of fantasy books. And yes, they are writing in Underrealm, and they're not going to write stories about racism or homophobia or any of that stuff. Because I don't want to, when they do write those stories, I don't want them to take, I don't want to take a portion of it. You know what I mean? I don't want to publish those stories and take a percentage. I want to bring a huge audience to these authors, and then I want them to go write their books that they want to write and publish, and tell the stories that they want to tell, that they're qualified to tell. And I want to bring in the reader. Here's a fun fantasy story that you're going to enjoy, that you're going to love reading. Now that you've read that, go read their book that they wrote, that they own 100% of, that's telling their story and their experience, and give them 100% of the money from buying that book. Don't give any of it to me. You know what I mean? That's the idea behind it. Obviously, there's still problems doing it that way. I know that there's going to be people who are, you know, who are going to feel that Underrealm glosses over certain social issues and is like afraid to tackle those certain social issues. They're not at all wrong to feel that way, you know? But I can't do both. And so I had to make my decision on which one I wanted to do. And so that was what I decided. Hey, what's up, Rhea? Meg, I am also often kicked out of the shower because I've been in there too long. And Megan's like, I'm showering next. Don't use all my hot water. You rampaging fuckhead. We're talking about the construction of Underrealm and the world and like why I chose. KJ asked what inspired my books. And so I talked about the inspiration for Underrealm and making it the sort of world that it is, which of course you and I have talked about ad infinitum. JJ, I do apologize, but this is my stream, and I will, like, on here, I talk completely openly and honestly, so I do use bad words here. I will not use harmful or bigoted or hateful words because that's not okay, right? But cursing, profanity, I think and communicate in those words. So on here, on this stream, I do use them freely, and I do not worry about censoring myself the way that I do in most of my YouTube videos. Sorry. Jesus Christ, we've been going almost 2.5 hours. I'm going to take another short break. We're rocking and rolling. Can you believe we're writing a new book series? We're not going to hit 5,000 words today. Just tossing that out there. That's not going to happen. But, yeah, pretty exciting. All right, I'll be right back. So Megan should be here anytime within the next half hour, so I'm just going to get as much work done as I can before she arrives, and then I'm going to have to end stream rather abruptly. What am I supposed to be ribbed? Don't worry, genius. A lot more work to do. Still working, genius. Don't worry. Miak, two things. One, don't die. Two, don't call it Waterworld. Too soon. That name is still tainted by Kevin Costner. KJ Jones, also, if you are on the email list, I did send out the addenda to everybody on the email list, and I'm pretty sure you're on it. So I don't know if you still have those emails or if you deleted them or whatnot. Terraqua. I like that one. So, Genius, you had outlining questions? This is a character outline, genius. Haha, Miak. KJ, I messaged you in Discord. And you got my message. Never mind. I mean, I feel like... Yeah, I'm going to skip the paragraphs. Uh-oh. That's a good one, Rhea. Well done. Well done indeed. Okay, but like, in fairness to your friend, fuck the word kernel. Not kernel of corn, which is spelled correctly. Like, what the hell? Kernel. That would be the worst Lego movie song parody ever. Everything is backwards. Okay, I have to go. Megan's here. We're taking Dawn out for her birthday dinner. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for being here. I do have to go, so this is just going to be very quick. Good to see you. I'm so glad that we started a new book. I will be streaming more on this on Monday. Maybe Sunday, probably Monday. So, yeah, I'll catch you then. I'm super excited. I hope you are too. See you next time. Bye!